And getting into the game, we have Destruction on Fafnir. I think that's something that's going to be banned out this next game. If he's as good as I've seen him play, and I've played with him doing it, he extends those stuns as well as any other Fafnir that I've seen, utilizing both his regular form as well as his dragon form to get the longest stuns possible. Hopefully going to get into the game so I can start talking about things and start watching what people are doing and start commentating. I think that super experienced Xbalanque with a really good kill-to-win ratio, that could be an issue for Trent Dog in that duo lane on that Carnarnus, but I think between the two gods, he has the better lane clear, so if they're smart about this, this should be a fairly easy win for the side of WKDMT, over at least in that duo lane, unless they get a big response coming out of the Eternal Knights to try and help him out over in that duo lane. But it's a lackluster pick, I think, comboed with a Ganesha. You could have some pretty good plays, but Shamija is going to have to work really hard to make sure that duo lane stays in his favor. All right. Now my spectator UI getting up. Shamija is going to be in the dual lane on Xbalanque, comboed with Nightstalker 15 as Ganesha going to be with him. The Cherokee Warrior is going to be in the jungle as a Wheelish. Snake Eyes 247 going to be chalk over the solo lane, going to get some help hopefully from Cherokee Warrior. Mike is going to be in the middle lane as New Wad. Destruction going to be in the dual lane, partnered with Trent Dogs. Repping a Fafnir and a Carnarnus, probably the biggest, most beefy lane we've seen as of yet in this tournament. We've seen some pretty beefy lanes, but Fafnir and Carnarnus are both gods that you're going to have to look out for and play very careful up against Stormjacked, heading into the mid lane as Vulcan. Going to be getting some help from the Truth as Susanoo in the jungle. Purification, however, a character I don't think I've seen Purification play yet, but he's over in the duo lane as, or excuse me, in the solo lane as Bologna. Snake Eyes, I think, just looking to have a jump party, be nice and friendly, and start the game out on a pretty relaxed note, but I don't think Purification's going to have any of that coming in, throwing out an auto attack and taking things back into seriousness. Going to be interesting to see how this early game goes out between Destruction and Trent Dogs. I think the right call would be to play up and see if you can't get a good hammer stun into the stun coming out from Trent Dog on Carnarnus, but actually the first auto attack of the game going to be going Shamika, a little bit of ability-based damage, but not a whole lot of poke. Trent Dog taking a few more auto attacks than he'd like. At least at this point, you know that Shamija has the upgraded auto attacks as his first level. Early in this game already, the clear advantage clearly going for Destruction. Looking over in that mid lane, Stormjacked and the Truth easily clearing their lane and taking it over Cherokee Warrior as well as Mike. In the duo lane, I think both characters are going to be clearing the way pretty evenly. However, the AoE auto attacks are going to give Purification that slight edge in clear. Not a whole lot going on right now on any lane. I think over in the left lane, a lot of poke coming out between Shamija as well as Nightstalker. Something they probably didn't expect, especially because Xbalanque is kind of a lackluster character. I think you want to try and start getting more poke and more clear. Play a little bit more aggressive. You know Nightstalker is pretty low, so you have an advantage. Try and go to their jungle and see if you can't make a play happen. However, the first invade of the game is going to go to Stormjacked and the Truth, going and grabbing that red buff and returning back to lane to grab the minions. Even if under tower you lose a few minions, it's kind of made worth it because you steal a buff. Not a whole lot going on over in this dual lane, just a bit of a slap fight trying to clear the lanes as fast as they can. Hopefully going to see some spicy plays here pretty soon, but still almost dead even. Only a tiny and very slight gold lead on the side of WKDMT, but nothing to worry about, I think, yet for the Eternal Knights. Looking like Purification all alone over in that solo lane, going to go and try and contest that blue buff, but it's spotted out by Snake Eyes. Just getting the smalls for now is Purification. Snake Eyes not able to get there in time to try and contest that. Big going on right now. Over in the left lane, Destruction getting poked out a little bit. I think that Fafnir pick, it's going to come online in a couple of levels when he gets that ultimate, but I think being aggressive really needs to be the call here. You have two characters that are so good at holding somebody down. However, Shamija and Nightstalker electing just to go and see if they can't grab what the damage buff is not there anymore for. Going to go grab the, tried to go grab the damage buff, but it wasn't there. However, rotating up there is going to leave their, Mike and Cherokee Warrior all alone in that left jungle. The first blood not quite going anybody's way. Truth needs to be Oh man, Mike, he could get away. However, the truth is right there. One more auto attack is going to do a first blood, going the way of WKDMT. The truth, 74D, getting that. Oracle's also going to be going the way of WKDMT. Both should be going their ways. Shimija, they're dashing in an ill-advised call. I think this could cost him his life if they decide to aggress on it, but the slow from him is going to encourage them to go away. How's it going, Trent?
How's it going, sir?
It's going very well. If you want to hop in the game and see if you can help me out with this broadcasting gig here, that'd be pretty great. Over in the left lane, Shimija having disengaged from that Oracle fight. I think he got himself out of position, but the slow is a pretty smart place move by him to be able to walk away from that. Purple buff going to be secured by Destruction and Trent Dog doing a good job getting that first blood and immediately going for camps to try to farm up. I think both mid lane camps are still up. That's going to be the next point of contention. I think if the Truth could spot that out, grab that with his mid laner and immediately start trying to get that farm game more ahead than it already is, to a tune of 600 already at 4 minutes left in the game, or 4 minutes in the game. Trent Dog's over in that dual lane actually. Shimija able to get a kill over there on him, picking him up low in his own respects, but big misplay. The Truth, however, gonna try and bring that back into his team's hands with a kill in the mid lane on the enemy jungler. I think big misplays going on in this dual lane. You have two power picks like Chrononos and Fafnir, and you losing Chrononos is only going to make that Xbalanque get bigger. You already get a stack on his passive, so he's already sitting 5 physical power above Chrononos, regardless of where they are in items. He has an advantage, at least in that respect, anyways. Just small fights going on right now. I think Eternal Knight's getting that first kill was a big mistake over the dual lane, but overall, the Truth, if he can keep the Sasano pick as potent as it usually looks to be and keep that Awilix on the enemy team shut down as much as he can, they should have a pretty easy time trying to win these early fights and getting this farm game on their side. But if Cherokee Warrior can get a good combination with a knockup from anybody, from any one of his team members, especially Snake Eyes, they could probably find a good fight. The Truth a little low on health there, being forced to back off. Ultimate from Stormjack going to be way off the mark there. Ultimate from the Truth is going to be used defensively to try and keep Cherokee Warrior off of his tail. Mike, however, going to ult and try and get a little bit of damage onto him. Getting pulled by Cherokee Warrior. Another kill going the way of Eternal Knights. Got to be careful here in this fight. Trent Dog going to get a little caught up there, and about half of his health going to be taken away. Shimija not afraid to try and aggress into that. You have 3 characters of Eternal Knights there. Trent going to go down from the damage to Mike. Sloppy mistakes by WKDMT right now. It started over in that dual lane when you give Shimija that first kill. He has 2 assists on him right now, so already this game, a much different story than I would have predicted watching the draft. The gold lead is now in the hands of Eternal Knights. It's only by a couple hundred, but at 3 and 2 and having Shimija with 1 kill, it's not exactly the outlook that you wanted coming into this game. Not much going on in the map right now, just rotating around the Truth, looking like he's going to try and find something over in that dual lane against Snake Eyes, but Snake Eyes being super smart, popping the heal and going under the tower. Cherokee Warrior, however, is there to respond. Destruction's there to try and keep him off of him. A little bit of a fight breaking out over there. Very low is Cherokee Warrior, looking like Purification might be able to get that kill. However, Snake Eyes is able to knock him up and deter him from it temporarily. Purification in a lot of trouble right there. A tower shot is going to leave him at a sliver of health, and Snake Eyes able to pick it up by throwing that axe. Sloppy play by Purification. Dive in the tower. After that knockup came, you should have... after that chalk started chasing, you should have realized he didn't have the advantage there and just start backing off. Unfortunately for them, it's going to cost him. Shimija over in that left jungle. Stormjack getting a little bit of damage out of him. I think the right call was just to go back to your lane. You don't want to box this Shimija. That turret's already down. He knows that's down for a little bit. You got to be careful. Just a clean disengage by both teams there. A little bit of poke by both of them, but no worse for where the Meditation's going to come out from Night Stalker to get Shimija a little bit higher in health, but so far a pretty even split right now in the game, even with the gold lead being to a tune of about 500 to 600 for Eternal Knight. Not out of the hands of WKDMT. I think it's going to rely on the Truth and what he's able to do with this Susanoo. Ultimate's going to be coming out of Shimija. Cherokee Warrior, however, is going to take this opportunity to get the kill onto Stormjack. Unfortunately, he turned his back to him. So far, Eternal Knights 5-2. WKDMT on their heels. Shimija over in that left lane, able to push up that lane. Trent Dog looking like he wanted to try and take that aggressive route, but fortunately he's just going to stay safe, come around this backside. Going to lose a few minions, but at least you don't die from making a mistake of going 1 versus 2 with a minion disadvantage. Getting making the pull onto Cherokee Warrior. Not really going to do much except do a bit of damage and get himself hurt a little bit as well, but it's just a bunch of standoffs, and WKDMT, I think, came in a little bit too confidently, made a few too many mistakes, and now's the time to start thinking about more intelligent plays, more sophisticated plays, and try and get a couple more picks. Trent Dog's all alone going up against going up against two characters in Shamija and Night Stalker. I would think that Destruction would try and rotate around somewhere into the mid lane, try and get a pick onto Mike on that Nuwa without his ultimate. Pretty much a sitting duck, he can stun you, but I think able to use immunities to his advantage. Ultimate coming out of Trent Dog's able to grab one. Able to pick one up with the CC, however, going to go down. Night Stalker able to pick up that kill for himself. The Truth, however, without me seeing it, was able to pick up Shamija just up in the lane. Night Stalker all by himself, but it's not going to be near enough damage coming out of WKDMT over in that dual lane to pick him up. Unfortunately that Trent had to go down there. It's just a 1-for-1 trade. Cherokee Warrior is there. This could be a mistake by the Truth if he stays too close. However, Cherokee Warrior, a combination coming out of both Destruction and the Truth. One more auto attack's going to do it. However, no kills out of that. A sliver of health for the Truth. It was a good play by Cherokee Warrior, and I think he had good intentions going into that, but a little bit too much damage coming out of them. Stormjack, however, throwing out the ultimate, not going to hit. Just a little bit of a fight coming up between him and Mike right now. The ultimate coming out of Shamija is going to be enough to peel away Mike from the enemy team, but I don't think there was a fight going on there, so holding out of that ultimate probably wouldn't have changed anything, but being super safe is always okay. Alright, so now down by about 1,300 gold is WKDMT. Got to clean up this fight here in the early game and try and contend for this mid game a little bit heavier and see if you can't grab an Oracles, grab a Portal Demon as this 10-minute mark starts approaching. Over in the left lane, Trent Dogs, as we've seen pretty much this entire game, Night Stalker hasn't really left his lane, has been helping Shamija as much as he can. Already this left tower looking like it's going to be going down pretty soon. A few more auto attacks should do it. Shamija able to grab that tier 1 tower, however, an ultimate coming out of Trent Dog is going to turn two characters into little piggies for just a little second. However, meditation coming out of Night Stalker is going to nullify most of that damage and keep them healthy and alive and contesting. This lane, not much is going on. A little bit of poke coming out of Stormjack, but you got to be careful up against an Awilix, but not overstepping his bounds and playing safe by backing off and putting a defensive turret. The Truth aggressing a little bit up there, but nothing's going to come of it. I think Mike being at half health is something to call for a rotation for from Destruction, maybe, but you got to be careful. Grabbing Oracles, Trent and Destruction both spotting that out before Eternal Knights do. The ultimate coming out of Eternal Knights, I think, to try and help out that right lane. Potentially, but it's just a slap fight over there. Purification already getting hurt by the Mystical Mail that's online for the Shock. However, I think in the mid lane, big mistake by Mike to try and play up too far. His ultimate is going to save him temporarily. Not going to get picked up so far. Destruction looking like he might go down. No, the Dragon Form from him is going to save his life. Trent, however, able to get a couple of auto attacks onto Mike, but Mike able to follow that up and get a kill of his own. Unfortunately, Cherokee able to get a double kill. Stormjack is going to be his second kill of that engagement. The Truth able to barely get out. Eternal Knights at a 9-5 or a 9-4 lead right now. And over in solo lane, just a continuous and constant slap fight. Purification, unfortunately, going up against that Mystical Mail is going to have to choose to back off a little bit more often than he would like to. I didn't see it, but the Truth staying in between the tier 1 and tier 2. Cherokee Warrior had just enough mana to go in, dive in, and grab that kill. Good job. Unfortunate that the game is going the way it was. WKDMT sitting at 2-0, going up against an 0-2 team. I think Eternal Knights have collected themselves and tried different strategies and talked to themselves. I think Shamija pulling out the Shibalanke, 1-1-6, not exactly a great force in this game, but he was able to grab that first tower, and he is in the lead. He needs to play a bit safer. I've seen some recklessness, but I think as long as Eternal Knights keeps this rhythm that they have going with getting picks and having this dual lane be as pushed as far up as it has and keeping Trent shut down on that Carnarvon, they're going to have a pretty decent mid game. They just need to start looking at objectives like Gold Fury or Portal Demon. Trent Dog poking out Shamija only a little bit. The stun is going to come out of Shamija, so his dash is down. Night Stalker could try and make a play off of this, but his dash is down as well. Big damage coming out of him, but not enough to really make anything. Ultimate as well. I think this is ill-advised by Night Stalker. I think realizing that Shamija maybe didn't tell him that he was heading back to base, so a wasted ability out of him. Trent can at least tell his team that the enemy Ganesha, Night Stalker, does not have his ultimate online right now. Mid lane, not a whole lot going on. Again, just farming it up right now. I think Eternal Knights probably going to start looking to towards an objective here. They have the left tower, so Shamija and Night Stalker are free to roam if they need to, but Shamija just electing to farm up and probably going to be building into the Devourer's Gauntlets here soon, so staying in the lane is going to be where he's going to be for a little while, and at least he could take that away. Gotta be careful here. Cherokee Warrior doing a pretty good job on this Wheelix right now. 5-1-1, getting a double kill in that last engagement and getting that third kill because the Truth played a little recklessly. Shamija and Night Stalker both in the mid lane right now. That's 4 members of Eternal Knights in that mid lane. I think Trent Dog, after clearing that wave, could try and come and save their tower right here, but a big pull coming out of the Truth is going to keep Night Stalker from getting much off. A meditation's going to come out of him, as well as Mike Stormjack throwing out the ultimate. The knock-up from the Truth is going to secure it onto 2. Not a whole lot of damage out of them so far. Destruction going in. Going to see if his team cannot follow up Destruction. However, might be going down here, and yes, he will. Shamija able to get the kill with his dash. The ultimate already back online. Gotta be careful here. Trent Dogs is here. Unable to pick up anything in the back line. Mike able to get a double kill. The ultimate coming out of him as well. You're going up against 2 right now. I think going on a Night Stalker's mistake. You gotta be careful here. Coming out of the solo lane is Snake Eyes. Trent Dogs didn't see it. This could be a big mistake from him. An auto attack, and yeah, it's able to go down. Purification looking like he's going to try and make a play, getting a kill for himself. Possibly going to get a double if he can pick it up against Nightwalker, healing up with that with the whip. There's a specific scathe. Can't remember the actual word for that, but able to at least grab a kill for himself there. Unfortunate that Trent had to be picked up there. I think the communication needs to improve on WKDMT. That was a pretty long rotation coming out of Snake Eyes, and Purification was on his tail the entire time. However, Purification making a mistake and getting picked off over in the right jungle. Cherokee Warrior. Gotta be careful here. I know WKDMT is behind, but you don't want to play too confidently going into this game. Picking up that mid clamps is Shamija. I think he needs to head back to base, and instead of grabbing a tier into Aussie or into Executioner, excuse me, needs to finish off the Dev's Gloves and get those stacks aligned early. Unless he's going for a Bloodforge, which I don't think Bloodforge on a Hunter is all that great, but he could do whatever he wants. Starting the Gold Fury right now. They're very aware of it on the side of Eternal Knights, so WKDMT making a good call and dropping it and waiting to see if the Eternal Knights will disengage, go out into their own lanes. They could try for it again, but probably just going to go for farm right now is WKDMT. Night Stalker's still there just patrolling the Gold Fury to make sure that WKDMT doesn't make a sneaky play. Cherokee Warrior looking at the left lane. I think Trent is their target right now. Trent being picked off multiple times this game. This Chronodus pick has been shut down thus far. Unfortunate for him. Stormjack heading over to the left lane, maybe looking for a good ultimate or at least to try and get pressure out of the duo lane. However, it looks like he's going to get collapsed on. Shamija is in the mid lane. Definitely spotted him out. Stormjack actually did use the ultimate. Cherokee Warrior, however, and gonna pick up the Truth. Gotta be careful in this fight. You don't want to lose too many more characters. Destruction going up against 3. It might be a good call to try and call for a retreat to see if you can't get more help. Trent is there. Ultimate from him is gonna be absolutely off of the mark. Not sure what he was looking at there. Stormjack gonna go down. Mike able to steer clear of that, and Destruction looking like he's gonna be the next victim. If he has a leap, he could get away. And he's not going to be able to. Cherokee unstoppable, picking up that 7th kill against the against Destruction. Trent over in left lane, overstepping his bounds as well. Be careful. I think he might be safe heading into the well, and he will be. Cherokee Warrior didn't quite have the range, but they're up to their Phoenix right now, playing very confidently. The game is paused by Destruction. I think this is going to be a tactical pause. talking a little bit how this game is going down. The Kronos pick has been lackluster. You've been getting beat down in left lane, and if he needed the help, he should have called for more help in destruction. I think his rotations coming into the mid lane hasn't been enough to help Stormjack, who's died a few times in his own respect. 0-4, calling off the pause. I think possibly just throwing out a couple more attacks is actually going to be repause Trent Dogs. I think this is definitely a tactical pause. All the members probably getting a little frustrated with each other right now. They're 2-0 and they're 5-18 in this game, and it doesn't even feel close. So, in going up against a team that is 2-0, you probably feel like you need to be doing better, or at least be having a close game. But unfortunately, you are 3 towers down, and you need to start playing a little bit more intelligently. You have people pushed up to your Phoenixes, and all lanes are losing right now. Have to be careful. The Truth's going to get a little bit of damage onto Shamija. I don't think Shamija's in any danger right now. His teammates are right behind him. The Truth going to be using the ultimate. Maybe not going to get the kill, but the Aegis, however, is still going to be used by Shamija. The Truth using his beads to avoid something. I didn't quite catch what it I didn't quite catch what it was. Yeah, the Truth getting pursued right now by Cherokee Warrior, able to teleport away from that. Still grouping up over in right lane. Purification pushed into his tier 1 tower. Bologna losing this matchup against the Chalk so far. That's not something I would have predicted. However, Mike in a bit of trouble right now. Possibly Destruction, who's going to try and get the stun onto him. However, a little bit less snappy than they would have liked to beat WKDMT, letting that one go. However, Mike is low on health and needs to go back to the base to try and grab the Oracles as well as the Gold Fury here if they wanted to go for it, but they got to be careful with whatever the pick is. Purification, however, over in the right lane, able to pick up Snake Eyes, but Snake Eyes able to get him as well. Didn't quite see what that engagement was over there, but they're both dead, so that just occurred in some way that was very close. So I think that it probably makes Purification come out on top. Chalk is going to be a lot more worth in gold by killing him than he is, but still you're both going to have a nice little sitting in the wall. The Oracles are going to go the way of Eternal Knight, and starting the Gold Fury here. Trent doesn't even realize it and is going to go back to base. Gold Fury sitting at about 65% HP. Shamija electing just to drop it and head to the mid lane. I think they don't realize it right now. The Truth going into that left lane, going to pick up Shamija, and this actually might be a bad call by Shamija all by himself. WKDMT definitely caught that rotation, however, not having enough damage online right now in their characters to pick that up. Looking at wards placed right now already, WKDMT, the Truth in the lead with the wards placed, but I think this is definitely a low wards placed game. I think more wards need to be coming out of WKDMT, especially out of Destruction, to try and get vision on things like the Gold Fury and Portal Demon, to try and make plays objectively to try and get themselves back in this game. Ultimate coming out of Eternal Knights to try and start securing this Gold Fury. WKDMT actually able to secure this Gold Fury, and a big fight breaking out. Trent able to get himself another kill, but the ultimate from Shamija is going to temporarily keep WKDMT off of his track. Got to be a little bit more aggressive here. Trent Dog going up in between the tier 1 and tier 2. Going to try and sandwich Shamija. Careful, Trent. A little bit of fighting coming up over in this right tower. Snake Eyes missing the damage on the oldest Purification, but getting knocked up out of his bludgeon as well. Snake Eyes able to do that, so very close fight over there. All around the map, just so much going on, but looking like a big disengage coming out from WKDMT. They won and they got that one kill. Purification looking like he's going to try and get the kill onto Snake Eyes. The Scourge going to hit for a little bit of damage, and the Bludgeon not going to be on the mark. The Teleport is going to put a little bit of distance between Snake Eyes and Purification, recognizing he has no chance to catch up to them in that situation. A lot of lag right now. Oh boy. Oh boy. There we go. Mid lane. Mike, I think, doing a lot better on this new wall than I would have predicted. Building into a Warlock stacks with only 70 stacks on it right now, but his ultimate has definitely grabbed him a couple kills, and I see some key stuns out of him to pick up some advantages for his team. A knock up onto 2. Stormjack just doing the best he can right now to defend his tier 2 tower. Not a whole lot that WKDMT can do right now. They're only down by about 4,500, but still, that's a lead you don't really want to tamper with when it comes to the Eternal Knights. You want to be careful about all their fights and engagements right now. WKDMT needs to win a team fight and see if they can't grab a Fire Giant and grab a couple of towers, but sitting at 6 towers is Eternal Knights, looking pretty coming into this mid to late game. An ultimate coming out of Night Stalker, just going to try and zone out both Stormjack and Destruction. I don't think it was a very good ultimate, so you have a little bit of a win there for WKDMT, able to bait out that ultimate, but still. Just very quiet all across the map right now. Over in the right lane, looking like Snake Eye is going to try and make a play onto this speed buff. I think the Truth was able to grab it there. A little bit of a fight going on in the mid lane. Nothing going to come out of it so far. Just have to be careful right now. Going all in the mid tower. Snake Eye is able to get a knock up onto a few Destruction. Going to use his ult as well. Stormjack very low on his health right now. His ultimate's going to come to the ground. His ultimate not hitting. 3 members of Eternal Knights are pretty low right now. Possibly going to be able to put this together. WKDMT. Snake Eye is able to pick one. However, the Truth able to shut down Cherokee Warrior. Not a bad player on him. However, Purification gonna get taken down by Snake Eyes. Unfortunate for them. A 3-to-1 trade for Eternal Knights. Trent Dog and the Truth are gonna be the only one standing. Trent Dog is over in the left lane. Looked like he was thinking about pushing up to that tier 1, but the team fight was so bad in the mid lane. He needs to rotate and see if he can't contest whatever objective there it is that they should be going for right now. And looking like the objective of choice right now is going to be the Portal Demon. They're responding right now, both looking like the Truth is going to go and try and contest that, but the damage is too great from Eternal Knights. He actually wasn't going to contest it, only grabbing that side camp there after hearing that sound of the Portal Demon being taken. He's going to go up there and try and check on it. He might be able to catch Shamija, but yeah, Shamija able to get back to base nice and safe. They're probably all going to go through that portal right there. I think grouping up next to the portal could be what WKDMT could do to try and counter them out, but Mike testing his luck and going through the portal, now up in that right jungle nice and safe, making it obvious that Snake Eyes can walk through it as well. I think the next point of contention is going to be the Fire Giant. Got to be careful. Curious to see what WKDMT is talking about right now. I know that they're down and they feel like they shouldn't be, knowing that their skill level is definitely higher than what they're displaying right now, but they need to be careful and not lose too many more fights as badly as they have been. Even if it does seem kind of impossible at this point, you're not 10,000 gold behind, you're not 20,000 gold behind. It's just a rough game thus far, but Stormjack not getting the memo about playing safe. Snake Eye is going to be able to take him out. 3 members of WKDMT as well as 4 members of Eternal Knight's Destruction going to be using his ult. Interesting to see what kind of play he's going to be making here. Actually just using it to put some big distance between him and Eternal Knights. However, closing that distance nice and quick is Cherokee Warrior. Cherokee Warrior going to pick up the Truth. Ultimate coming out of Purification. Going to do some decent damage to Cherokee Warrior. Got to be careful here. Trent able to pick him up. So far, a 2-to-1 trade. You have Cherokee Warrior down, so it's not a bad idea to try and see if you can't get another pick here. Destruction wanted to leap away, but he was silenced out of it. However, after the silence, he was able to leap out of that. And a couple more. The damage from Snake Eyes was a bit too much for Destruction to handle going down to him. Trent in that well right now. Needs to get back out here and start defending this Phoenix. You have members of Eternal Knights at your Phoenixes. And speaking of, over in that right lane, that Phoenix is going to go down. Mike had a pretty long split push coming out of that solo lane. He was over there for a while, and it resulted in a Phoenix. Already pushing up to the Phoenix right now, and Snake Eye is just all up in there well right now. Night Stalker pretty low as well, but not going to be able to follow it up. But Trent is going to grab that kill. Pretty sloppy plays actually coming out of Eternal Knights. Knowing that you have the lead and you're playing the way you are, I think losing characters like Night Stalker and Snake Eyes is going to hurt. You have Shamija, Cherokee Warrior, and Mike all online right now, but you only have the minions from Nike to try and grab a to try and grab an objective. But I think Gold Fury should be what's on their what is in their sights right now. Shamija has that Blood Forge, which means plenty of power and lifesteal for it, and I think that will be the call. Looking like they're going to start the Oracles first. However, responding to it pretty quick. WKDMT coming up through the jungle. Might be trying to make a play. A stun onto 2 Purification. That was a pretty decent combination right there. Mike not going to be able to ult. Trent smartly using his ultimate to turn him into a boar before he can ultimate out of it. And the Gold Fury immediately going to be started. Cherokee Warrior is right there. Got to be careful and see what he's going to be able to do here. The knockup wasn't going to be able to grab it, and WKDMT grabs the Gold Fury.
Your Titan is under attack.
Fire minions already pouring into the well. WKDMT definitely needs to send a character back there because after a few minutes, those fire minions are gonna put a lot of health, take a lot of health away from your Titan. But the first tower for them is going to come in the mid lane. I think slowly making a good move to start coming back. They're only 5,000 down now. Start putting your fights together. I think right now the weak link is definitely in Stormjack. Had he had a bigger impact or chosen a different god, I think this Vulcan was just not quite the pick you need to choose against a team like Eternal Knights, who's doing a good showing, even with a god like Xbalanque, of playing very, very well together and as a good unit. Very laggy for me right now, unfortunately. There we go. It's been lagging much less, though, so I think the stream overall has been fairly smooth. Grouping up towards that right lane is Trent, finally addressing that situation over in right lane. Your Titan is only down to about 80% health, but that's not a huge deal. You can still adequately defend that, but you still don't want those minions to be pushing up as far as they need to be. Over in the left lane, the tower going to be started and almost finished by Eternal Knights. Looking like Snake Eyes went a little bit too deep. They're going to be taken out possibly by a Purification. The Purification can get one more hit on it, and he will. Purification coming up big for his team right now. Going to go hover on him so we can actually watch what's going on. Night Stalker is going to be his next target. Able to get that slow on him. Night Stalker going to be taken out by the ultimate from Trent Dog's as well as auto attack. Big ultimate coming out from Cherokee War is going to displace Purification, but not quite enough to get a kill. WKDMT looking like they're finally pulling this game together and trying to get some objectives on their own. Over in that right lane, again, those fire minions are pouring into that well. And Trent Dogs, so he's going to go back to base once again to address them.
Your Titan's under attack.
In that left lane, though, Cherokee Warrior all by himself trying to defend that tier 2. I think this game is slowly starting to get back into WKDMT's hands. I think after another good team fight and another couple of towers, you can start looking at a Fire Giant and seeing if you can't siege a lane and grab a finished Stormjack, finally getting himself on the build, picking off the ever so good Cherokee Warrior on that Wheelix. The advantage is definitely in their hands right now. A couple of pings coming out from Eternal Knights onto the Fire Giants, thinking that maybe Trent Dogs is by himself doing it, but not really worried about it. Shamija by himself just farming up lanes, going to go and try and take out Trent Dogs. Trent needs to be careful here. This could be a big play. Shamija, a couple of auto attacks is going to take him out. I think Trent was already in the item screen looking at what he wanted to buy, so his reaction timing was definitely not up to par right there. Unfortunately for him, they had to go down. Purification, however, responding to that right lane deficit. The Phoenix just came up, so as long as he's there to defend that, I don't think Eternal Knights will be able to grab it unless they make a big group up play. But I think enough characters are online for the side of WKDMT to win a team fight if they do it intelligently. Portal Demon, however, going to be started up. I think the Truth knows it's coming, but the damage from Eternal Knights is going to be a bit too much. The burst the burst actually didn't come through. The auto attacks were going to be what did it, but the Truth almost caught out there. A little bit of damage coming out of Shamika. Stormjack there to back him up and peel away for him. Cherokee Warrior going to get the knock up and the feather step. The Truth using his bees to try and keep Cherokee Warrior off him. However, Cherokee Warrior a little worse for wear, going to be able to pick up that kill onto the Truth. The team fight already falling apart for WKDMT. Stormjack also going to be able to get picked off. Shamisha able to pick up that kill. Only a few members left standing on the side of WKDMT. If Destruction and Purification can make a big play here, they can try and turn this around, but Destruction going down doesn't look good. Trent Dogs and Destruction teamed up right now. Going to see if they can make a big play. Auto attack coming out of Trent Dog. They're going to get some characters pretty low, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He's going to be going down. Shamija coming up big in this late game. Snake Eye is able to take out the last carrier. That's a deicide on the side of Eternal Knights, and this should be the end of the game. Charging into the Titan's lair. Eternal Knights looking very strong at game 1. Big win for them, getting lots of early fights going their way and playing decently with a lead. Game 1 going the way of Eternal Knights. WKDMT going to have to find a way to rally back in game 2 to force a game 3. We'll be right back with the next one.